Before the DLC, Malenia was undoubtedly the most difficult boss in Elden Ring, some saying she was the toughest boss that FromSoft ever made, and for a company known for their tough bosses, this was a big title to earn.
I dreamt for so long.
Yet one she did deserve.
My flesh was dull gold, and my blood rotted. Corpse after corpse left in my wake, as I awaited his return.
A boss widespread for the terror she invoked upon the players of Elden Ring.
Heed my words. I am Malenia, Blade of Miquella, and I have never known defeat.
I am not good at Elden Ring. I'm not good at Souls games in general. The first time I beat Elden Ring, it was with Radahn's Armor, Rivers of Blood, and Mimic Tier. Now, that shouldn't be a problem, but for some players, it might be. So I wanted to do a video where I got good at Elden Ring, beat it without summons or magic. And I'm in the process of getting that done, but uploading at some point would be nice, and this challenge run is taking me a while. And our current roadblock is... Fun fact, in my first run of Elden Ring, I couldn't beat Malenia. Hell, I couldn't even get her down to half HP, even with my Mimic Tier. I had to go online and get other people to help me, and on my second run of the game, when the DLC came out, same thing happened. I needed help. So for that video, I need to beat all Remembrance bosses. Malenia is one of those, so that's what this video is. Someone who is terrible at Souls games, beating Malenia without magic or summons. Wish me luck. So, first thing, her attacks are hella fast. At first I tried parrying her, but my timing wasn't right, so I swapped to the buckler parry. Now this shield sucks at being a shield, but I think it has more iframes for parrying. I hope so at least. I couldn't bother to research it. Now, the Milady is good because it is a light greatsword, meaning it can knock her out of attack animations while still being decently fast. Sadly, I had to give up on parrying. It was just not working out for me. I am not meant for parrying. And while it was satisfying to parry her, I wasn't getting anywhere with it. So I decided to swap to just using the Milady and two-handing it. Impaling Thrust was the Ashes of War on this weapon, and it was really good at penetrating her. And breaking her poise. Bad news, that means I have to dodge, so let's look into some stats here. Malenia has 33,251 HP in total. Spoilers, she has a second phase. Now, her first phase has 18,473 HP, while her second phase has less than that with 14,778 HP. Another spoiler, her HP in the first phase does not really matter. She has 120 defense, which is used to calculate damage, and I have no idea what that means, but what's more important is her stance, which she has 80 of. Now, stance is how many attacks or heavy attacks you need to do until an enemy's poise is broken so you can critical them, as you see here. And for a parry, you'd have to do 3 of these in a row to be able to critical. There was no way I was getting 3 parries done. Now, before we talk about Malenia's stats, let's quickly talk about talismans, because we need better talismans. Now, we currently have the Shard of Alexander, which boosts our skills by 15%, along with the Dragon Crest Great Shield Talisman, which boosts our physical damage negotiation by 20%. Now, despite being known for Scarlet Rot, her physical damage is the most scary thing about her, and Scarlet Rot basically doesn't matter here. We want, or need, I guess we want the Crimson Sea Talisman +1, and the Two-Handed Sword Talisman. The Crimson Sea Talisman +1 would boost our Crimson Flask by 30%, thus making healing faster and cost less, as instead of needing to use 2 Crimson Flasks, we'd only need to use 1. Meanwhile, the Two-Handed Sword Talisman would boost our damage by 15%. We just need to go get those. Back to the DLC! We make our way to Bonnie Village, get the O Mother Jester, and make our way to the Cathedral of Manus Meter, I think that's how you say the name, to start his quest. Then we, blow the fingers. I see Miyazaki has changed fetishes. I want to say the Two-Handed Sword Talisman was easier to get, but not really. Besides needing to run 50 years to get there, we have to do parkour, which sucks. I hate parkour. Anyways, with our new set of talismans, we are more prepared for this fight. We also have our mixed physic. We are using the Opaline Heart tier, which temporarily boosts our damage negation for 180 seconds, and the Stoneheart Crack tier, which makes us more likely to break enemies' poise. For 30 seconds? Crap, I thought that was for 180 seconds. Okay, so we really have to be fast whenever we drink this, because we only have 30 seconds? Oh, crap. Now back to Malenia's stats. The good thing here is that we can luckily ignore most of her damage negations, as she has 10 negate for standard, slash, strike, and pierce damage, which is annoying, but we can live with. Then she has 20 magic negation, 0 fire, 20 lightning, and 40 holy. She is weak to frost, but my main point here is that we can't use any elemental stuff anyways, as that's part of the challenge, as I consider everything that's not basic damage as magic. So we're just gonna ignore all of this. The Milady is good for this fight. As said, it can break her out of animations, it does a sexy 284 damage while maxed out, and with Impaling Thrusts, it also does an additional 33 stance damage, which means 3 of these should be enough to break her poise. We are using Rolana's armor for now, just because I like it. However, as you will see, we sometimes swap using parts of the Solitude armor because I got desperate and I thought that maybe the changes in defense would mean something, which it did, but later on we have a strategy which needs a bit of a lighter equip load, so you'll see where that comes in. As some of you guys might know, Malenia has this move called the Waterfowl Dance, which is the fuck you move, where she kills you. Normally the idea of an 8-4 red-haired goddess killing me would be a dream, but now I see this move and I just have the notion to curl up into a ball and cry. We try this a lot. We slowly get better at dodging her regular attacks, however, every time she jumps into the air, it's game over for us. Now, I've been fighting her for like a solid 10 hours, which might be the most interaction I've had with a woman. Right, the Bloodhound Step thingy exists, so I could use that to dodge. However, that gets rid of Impaling Thrusts, meaning I can't break her poise well, or do much damage because I began having a codependency on the Impaling Thrusts. The solution? Get good at Waterfowl Dance. Just get good. Luckily, that can actually be done. Malenia does the Waterfall Dance twice. Once when she's at around 70% HP, and once more when she's at around 40% HP, or something like that. What you do here is run back when you think she will do it. By doing this, you can avoid her first lunge, as the hitbox on that is insane. Then you roll through her second dash, and for the third one, you need to walk back from her and roll if you want, but it's kind of difficult with how the auto-lock works. I admittedly do get caught every once in a while when she jumps in the air while I'm still close to her. There is a way to dodge this by like sprinting around her and dodging, but I'm not good enough to do that. One of the only issues is that we can't dodge Waterfowl Dance like this in Phase 2. Speaking of Phase 2, let's talk about that because we can more reliably get there now. Phase 2 is said to be easier than Phase 1. It did not feel this way. Her attacks in Phase 2 are a lot more choreographed, if that may... Okay, you know what, I don't know what this Phase 1... I don't know what this phase is. I'm not gonna really pretend like I know what was happening here. The Milady was just not working, okay? We have to be decently close to her to use Impaling Thrusts. Problem being in Phase 2, Malenia is hyper-aggressive. All that waiting around in Phase 1 was completely swapped up, and now she only wants to pierce us. I mean, she might have less HP than in Phase 1, but do not get that twisted, it does not matter! Now, due to the hyper-aggressiveness, you just do not get to heal this is a nightmare. On my first couple of tries, I would just insta-die the second I got to phase 2. What sucks the most? You have to redo phase 1 all over again. At this point, as I said, phase 1 became doable. I am impatient, that is a known character flaw of mine, and I would often make mistakes. However, I'm usually getting to phase 2 with at least 5 flasks, as long as I don't get fucked by waterfowl. So how do we deal with phase 2? The answer might surprise you. Seriously, it's the Serpent Hunter. I'm not kidding. The weapon we use to skullfuck Rykard into another dimension. Now, we don't get the massive swing of death, but the range on this weapon is still really good, because it's a heavy weapon, which leads us to stagger Malenia's animations from a decent way away, and it also does do pretty good damage. Now this lets us punish Malenia after every attack. She unfortunately punishes us even more for even breathing near her, and that's not something I'm into. I know, also surprising. She has Waterfowl Dance still, except without a cooldown, and nearly no warning, so she can do it whenever she wants. You can survive the first flurry of death and roll through the second hit and walk back like you did in phase 1, and you might have some time to heal. She also has this move where she sends down a bunch of copies of herself with Scarlet Rot, and this attack is pretty easy to dodge for the first 2 seconds. Then one of the clones just comes out of nowhere and speed blitzes your ass, and then Malenia comes down on you. Remember the mixed physics? More damage negotiation and higher chance to stun is nice, but I would usually use it at the start of phase 1. However, by the time I actually got to phase 2, it would nearly run out of time. So I would have to save it for phase 2, making phase 1 harder in the process, but giving me more of an advantage when phase 2 starts. At this point, I have everything I need to win. I just have to put it all together. I fought her for a total of 10 hours now. I'm tired, I'm at my limit, but as every Souls player knows, they can win as many times as they need. I only need to win once. Just once. Oh my god.
The mark of a true lord.
I did it.
Dear Miquella,
I did it. I did it. I did it. Oh my god, I did it.
my brother.
Thank you for watching! I know thousands of people have beat Malenia, and while this was a challenge run, I used DLC stuff. Still, I'm proud of myself. I beat her on my own. I limited myself too. I still need to beat the DLC, beat Mesmer, and all the other DLC remembrances. That video will probably take a while, and I promise to do my best to make that video as good as I can make it. So once again, as I always say, thanks for watching. I'll see y'all next time.